The following is a special presentation of Extreme E-Speed TV, your new home for everything iRacing and E-Speed.
Welcome to the Coast to Coast Racing League as we have Sunday Night Showdown presented by Extreme E-Speed TV. As always, we are right here with Extreme E-Speed TV on the Coast to Coast Racing League Network, and we have the Salty Dogs Midget Division here from Weed Sport tonight. Of course, week number 8 here during the 2023 summer schedule is a big one as we will move on tomorrow, starting with the Mike Westbrook Knoxville Nationals presented by the Stephen King Foundation. That'll all kick off tomorrow night at 7:30 for the Kids Club. Qualifying race number 1 will kick off at 8 p.m. and that same schedule will move on Tuesday night as well, with Ladies Night and qualifying race number 2. But before we get there, we have our Sunday Night Showdown here from Weed Sport to kick us off. As you can see, the midgets are out here on the track getting ready for racing here tonight, which will be a fun night at Weed Sport. And then, of course, we'll have the Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Division coming up next from Williams Grove, and that will make up our broadcast portion of Sunday Night Showdown here tonight. And with that, it looks like our warm-up session is coming to an end, and we will move on to our heat race number 1. As always, heat race number 1 presented by Flatline Racing Bodies, and they're going to start like this. Row number 1, it's Brandon Templeton alongside Jeff Flaro. Row number 2, Jack Hitt next to Patrick Spangler. Starting 5th, Zach Chapman next to Jeffrey Kemper. And starting 7th will be the 75 of Steven Bixler. So, as part of our Tim Chapman pre-race show, the standings entering tonight, 8 races down. Points leader is Randy Shreves. He's got 1 win. He leads Brandon Templeton by 35 points. Brandon Templeton, who starts on the pole with this heat race, leads the division with 3 wins this summer. Third will be Terry Landis. Fourth, Jeff Barker. And rounding out the top 5 is Jack Hitt with a win. Steven Spees has 2 wins. He sits 8th in points and down at 17th in points with only 3 starts but 1 win, Blake Chapman. So Templeton and Flero will lead us to green. As we're here at the Weed Sport Speedway tonight for this midget division. So 2x2. Pace truck presented by Stephen King Foundation dives on off. 8 laps here in heat race number 1. Templeton will shoot out to the front. That's Hit to the inside, looking to the inside of that 200 of Flero, 39 of Spangler around the outside. And that 72 of Chapman trying to make his way up towards the front as well. It's Brandon Templeton out front here early. Hit second, Zach Chapman quickly up to third, now battling Hit for second. Spangler taps the wall there in 1 and 2, as now Chapman's able to get around that 217 of Jack Hitt. The battle now goes behind them as you got Flero, Spangler, Bixler, and Kemper there now. That's a 4-way battle. And out front, it's still that 31 machine of Brandon Templeton. Templeton continues to lead, almost a 2-second lead over Zach Chapman now, who's now separated himself from Jack Hitt. You've still got to go back to that battle for 4th. Bixler, Spangler, and Flero all battling for that position. As Bixler gets too sideways, I feel, in turn number 3. That'll drop him out of this battle, as now Spangler's taken over the 4th position and separated from Flero and Kemper now. As things finally settle down, 3 laps to go, out front by over 2 seconds is still that 31 of Brandon Templeton. So Templeton, 2 laps to go now, smooth as can be, as his lead is up to 2.5 seconds. Zach Chapman unable to chase him down. Ooh, Spangler gets into the wall there in turn number 2. That'll drop him to the rear. As the white flag waves, Chapman and Hitt. Plenty of space between them as you see Templeton down the backstretch. Through 3 and 4, and he is going to be your heat race number 1 winner. It's Templeton, Chapman, Hitt, Flero, Bixler, Spangler, and Kemper here in heat race number 1. And with that, we'll move on to heat race number 2. As always, heat race number 2 presented by Langton Mechanical. And that starting lineup, which is the second half of the field here tonight with the midgets. It's Pat Boyce on the pole next to Jeff Barker. Row number 2, Terry Landis alongside Preston Kramer. And starting in the third and final row is going to be Brandon Dittmer next to the 20 of Blake Chapman. So they get lined up and rolling behind that Stephen King Foundation pace truck. Of course, you have that curved backstretch here at Weed Sport. As we'll do one more lap, it looks like, behind that Stephen King Foundation pace truck. Of course, that pace truck leaves at about the last possible moment over there into turn number 4 here at Weedsport Speedway. So there the truck goes over the hill. Pat Boyce, Barker will lead us to green. Green flag waves here on Langton Mechanical Heat Race number 2 for the Salty Dogs Racing Midget Division here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Pat Boyce will shoot out to the front. Barker will settle in second. Blake Chapman quickly moves up to the 3rd spot. Pat Boyce able to separate. He's got about a half a second lead here early, though, as Barker has Chapman to his inside. Contact they make. You see Dittmer get into the wall over there in turns 1 and 2 as well. They'll both settle in now as the 161, that's Landis, will move in behind Blake Chapman. Push Barker now back to the 4th spot. Pat Boyce unable to pull away here, as now actually Chapman will close that gap through 1 and 2. A good corner for him as he's trying to chase down that 41 machine out front. 2 laps in, and Blake Chapman's already moved up 4 spots to the 2nd position. Now as he goes around Pat Boyce will slide up in turn number 2. That opens the door for Blake Chapman to take the lead. He'll come through, and as they get the cross sticks halfway, it's Blake Chapman with the lead. Landis now looking to the inside of Pat Boyce for that 2nd position, with Barker not far behind. You can see these cars coming at Boyce right now, able to run a little bit lower than him, especially through 1 and 2. As Landis is able to get around him, now Barker will try as well, as he'll go off into turns 1 and 2. Same move that the 2 in front of him were able to pull on Pat Boyce, and just like that, Pat Boyce will settle into the 4th spot. Out front, it's Blake Chapman with a 2nd lead over Terry Landis. Chapman coming to the white flag. Landis 2nd, Barker 3rd, Pat Boyce still in 4th. White flag will wave here on our Langton Mechanical Heat Race number 2. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be the 20 of Blake Chapman off of turn number 4. He will win Langton Mechanical Heat Race number 2. 2nd, it's Terry Landis. 3rd, Jeff Barker. Pat Boyce 4th. Dittmer 5th, Preston Kramer, who did not grid, will end up 6th. And just like that, we will have our warm-up session here before the feature event. And with that, we'll take a quick break and be right back after this message from the Coast to Coast Racing League.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olsen? She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
And just like that, we're back here at Weed Sport. As our warm-up session will come to an end, we'll move on to our feature event here for the Salty Dogs Racing Midget Division. And with that, they will get gridded on the front stretch here at Weed Sport. And that starting lineup is going to look like this. Row number 1, it's Brandon Templeton, heat race number 1 winner, alongside heat race number 2 winner Blake Chapman. Third, Zach Chapman next to Terry Landis. Fifth, Jack Hitt alongside Jeff Barker. Row number 4 will be Jeff Flaro next to Pat Boyce. And rounding out the top 10, it's Steven Bixler alongside Brandon Dittmer. Starting 11th will be Patrick Spangler next to Preston Kramer. And starting in 13th will be Jeff Kemper. And with that being said, just like the heat race, Preston Kramer not gridding. So that'll move up Jeff Kemper to 12th with a dozen cars here at Weed Sport for this Salty Dogs Racing Midget Division. So they follow that Stephen King Foundation pace truck around here at Weed Sport. So with that, we will get ready to go 2x2 here around this Weed Sport Speedway out of turn number 4. 30 laps, green flag waves at Templeton and Chapman off into turn number 1. Templeton will pull away here early through the first corner. Oh, you see Flaro into that inside wall. He'll keep it going there. Will stay green. As Chapman making a move to the inside of Blake Chapman. And the battle for second heats up here quickly, as now you got to go back to Landis, Hitt, and Barker here battling. That's for the 4th position. Landis will get a little out of shape there. You see Dittmer in that 83 all the way up around the outside through 3 and 4. Now the Chapmans are battling for second. You got Blake Chapman to the inside, Zachary Chapman to his outside in the 72. They're both trying to chase down that 31 of Templeton out ahead. Oh, Blake Chapman gets into that inside wall, out into Zachary Chapman. And that will bring out our first caution of the night. The Chapman on Chapman battle there. A lot going on, as it was Templeton out front. And with that, we'll have our first Mission 22 restart zone, as we have our Gambler Motorsports caution. So they'll get lined back up. The lights are still on that Stephen King Foundation pace truck. So they will get lined back up. Lights are off. Go through 3 and 4 one more time before our Lucy Olson green flag will wave. As they move through that Mission 22 restart zone, green flag waves. Templeton shoots out front. Now it's Blake Chapman behind him. Jack hit in third. Fourth is Jeff Barker. Fifth, Pat Boyce, as a caution in the back as Patrick Spangler goes around. Jeff Flaro and Zach Chapman all caught up in that one. As we will slow it down again for our second caution of the night. And just like that, we'll get them lined back up. It's Templeton, Chapman, Hit, Barker, Boyce are your top five. Flaro and Zachary Chapman are back in 10th and 11th. Those are two guys that have been caught up here early in this one, looking to make their way back up through the field. So they'll get lined back up, 2x2, behind that Stephen King Foundation pace truck. Another Mission 22 restart coming with a Lucy Olson green flag next time by. Down the back stretch here at Weedsport. Green flag waves. Templeton will shoot back out front with this Lucy Olson green flag. Hit trying to make a move on the inside of Blake Chapman there. Chapman will slide up. That opens the door for the 217. Hit will come out of turn number 4 with that second position. Now Jeff Barker trying to use that inside line to the inside of Chapman. He'll take over third by the time they cross the line. Behind them, Dittmer, Pat Boyce, and Landis, all three wide there for position. That's for the 5th spot. As now Pat Boyce is backed up into that battle as well. Dittmer all the way up over that cushion through 3 and 4. As Blake Chapman's quickly fallen back to 6th. While they battle behind him, it's Brandon Templeton out front. Jack Hit and now Jeff Barker run 2nd and 3rd. And then you have that bee's nest from 4th on back. See Boyce to the outside, Landis looking to the inside. Spangler now trying to rebound and move up through the field. He's up to the 6th spot as he moves around Pat Boyce to the inside. Landis gets into that inside wall off of 3, goes around, and caution flag will wave. So we saw that happen. Landis into that inside wall in turn number 3. And with that, we will get ready for another Lucy Olson green flag here to get us back to racing. the lights are off that Stephen King Foundation pace truck, so we'll get ready to go back to green this time by. Green flag waves. It's Brandon Templeton out front. Single file restart this time, as it's 20 laps to go. Spangler into that inside wall off of turn number 2 again there, as he's trying to complete his move up towards the front. As you see Barker looking around, trying to make a move on that 20 of Blake Chapman, unable to do so as of yet. As now Templeton trying to stretch that lead back out over Jack Hitt. See Chapman get in the wall there off of turn number 2, as it's still Templeton out front. Jack Hitt, Blake Chapman, Jeffrey Barker, Patrick Spangler now up into the top 5. We inch closer and closer to the halfway mark in this one, as we have 16 laps to go this time by. Caution flag will wave. It looks like Dittmer involved in this one. He's off the track over there in turn number 4. And that will bring out our 4th caution of the night. So the light should go off this time by, and we'll go back to green here about halfway through this one here for the midget division. So another single file restart this time by, as that Stephen King Foundation pace truck will dive off of turn number 4. Be Templeton, Hitt, Barker, Spangler, Pat Boyce, your top 5 here at Weed Sport. As the green flag waves, Templeton shoots out front. We're halfway here in the midget division as we have 15 laps to go. So 13 laps to go for Templeton out front. Hitt still trying to chase him down. That leads over a second here. Is the next group of 3 there, 2nd through 5th, running tightly as Spangler's now re-entered that top 5 behind Barker. Great battle here for Barker and Spangler. That's a battle for the third position. It's Spangler now that will get in between Barker and Hit in that third spot, as this time by 10 laps to go here at Weed Sport, and it's still Brandon Templeton out front. His lead is ballooned to 1.8 seconds here, as now he's got Jack Hit behind him. Patrick Spangler up 8 spots from his 11th starting spot to 3rd. Jeff Barker 4th. Pat Boyce in 5th. Steven Bixler 7th. And now Blake Chapman's made his way back up into the 6th spot. Templeton down the backstretch. His lead now almost 3 seconds over Jack Hit and Patrick Spangler, who are side by side for that second spot. Great run here for Patrick Spangler. You've got to think he would love a chance at Templeton out front now that he's moved into that second spot, as now it's Jeff Barker to the inside. He'll take a look. Spangler clips that inside wall off of turn number 2. That opens the door for Jack Hit to get that second spot back. Spangler will recover and hold on as they come out of turn number 4. 6 laps to go. Great battle here from 2nd through 5th. I'm sorry, 2nd through 4th, as Barker looking to the inside of Hit for the 3rd position. Pat Boyce runs 5th. Blake Chapman in 6th. It's Brandon Templeton out front by almost 3 seconds now, as Hit and Barker continue to run side by side. It'll be 4 laps to go this time by for Brandon Templeton. He's led all the laps thus far, as we've had our longest green flag run of the night here for the midgets. Comes out of turn number 3. That'll be 3 laps to go for Brandon Templeton. Patrick Spangler runs 2nd. He's got a nice gap now on Jeff Barker, who now has a gap on Jack Hit, as the front 5 separated around this Weed Sport track now. 2 laps to go this time by for Brandon Templeton out front. He'll go down the back stretch here, coming to the white flag this time by. It's the 31 of Brandon Templeton, looking for his 4th midget win of the summer season. Spangler still in that 2nd spot. Barker 3rd, Hit 4th, Pat Boyce 5th. But your winner at Weed Sport's going to be Brandon Templeton in the Salty Dogs Racing Team Midget Division. Patrick Spangler 2nd, Jeff Barker 3rd, Jack Hit 4th, Pat Boyce 5th. As Templeton will bring it into victory lane here at Weed Sport Speedway. As always, we will interview those top 3 podium finishers of Brandon Templeton, Patrick Spangler, and Jeff Barker. And with that, we'll start off with our 2nd place finisher. It's the 39 of Patrick Spangler. Patrick, you had an eventful midget race there. Walk us through your night and how you ended up with a 2nd place finish.
Yeah, I didn't run any warm-up laps there. Before the race, I didn't know the top side wasn't there at all. So I went backwards in the heat race and then caught the wall trying to get underneath somebody. And then it seemed like the first 3 wrecks I was in the feature there. And then it's like I compare this to a F1 race in the rain. Like if you get off the very bottom, you're just going to go backwards with this pre-generated surface like this. So not a big fan of the high pre-gen here because it just makes it 1 lane. But yeah, we'll just stay lower and stay off the wall and pass some cars there.
If you would have had maybe one more caution there at the end once you got into the 2nd spot, you think you had anything for Brandon out front?
I think so. Some laps, like that, there was a 1 lap there. I was 6/10 quicker, and then it dropped down to like a 10th, and then 2/10. So I was shipping off. It was just a matter of staying consistent. And I don't know if he was just trying to stay at the bottom walls too. He could have been faster too, but he had such a big lead there. It's hard to tell. It would have been fun though.
And then we saw you once you got past Hit and Barker there for second. You clip that inside turn number 2 wall one more time there. When you're trying to move up through the field, and then how finicky these midgets can be, when you do make a mistake like that or get too close to the edge, what's going through your mind as you're trying to keep that momentum moving forward?
It's so easy at this track because, I mean, you had like one car with stay off the bottom there, and you would get a massive run out of 4, and 2 if you could stay a car with off. So you had to play that game, and I was just glad I didn't rack up the X's there and put myself out. But yeah, that was fun.
Well, great run. It was fun watching you move up through the front there. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, just you for the awesome broadcast each week. Roger Run the League, Training Wheels Racing, QXM Designs for the skin on this, and Dan will go back and watching.
Well, great run, Patrick. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks. Hopefully talk to you in an hour.
That's Patrick Spangler here, second place finish tonight here in the Salty Dogs Racing Midget Division. Coming up third tonight is the 5-1-3 of Jeff Barker. Jeff, eventful evening here in the Midgets tonight. Walk us through your night to a third place finish.
It was just the track was right where I like it. This is my home track in real life, and I just was having fun, and it was a little bit one-liney, but it was kind of a chess match waiting for people to make mistakes and try to move up. But yeah, it was a good time.
You spent most of the night in that battle from third to about seventh, a hornet's nest at times. Walk us through, especially in these midget cars, when it gets three wide or at least 2 wide there through the corners. How tricky can it be to stay in hold position?
Oh, it's real tough, and I got to shout out to everybody that was in the race for basically keeping your lines and remembering that the track's real slick. So yeah, that was cool. It's a good job by everybody.
So you were part of that group that also got to follow Brandon around all night there. Was there anything you felt like you had if you were able to get up to that second spot and try to tackle that Templeton machine?
I was telling myself I could. I don't know if I really could have, though. You didn't get a chance.
Sounds good, Jeff. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting, U.S. Marines. I got to thank you for putting this on. Got to thank Salty Dogs Motorsports for Salty Dogs Racing, for sponsoring the night, and C2C.
Well, great run, Jeff. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, thanks, sir.
That's our third place finisher tonight, Jeff Barker, and now your winner here, the 31 of Brandon Templeton. Brandon, an eventful midget race for everyone from second on back. Walk us through your race to victory here at Weedsport tonight.
I was just trying to, stay down close to the inside wall where the one little pencil-thin line of traction was, and at the same time, try not to use up the tires and just kind of drive it straight as I could. So
we talked to Patrick about that as well. When you've got such a narrow line on the inside and these pesky walls that come and go here at Weedsport, even if you are out there with a 1-2 second lead, how tricky is it making sure you hit your marks and keep moving forward as the laps tick away?
Well, there was definitely a moment or two that made me wake up. 30 laps is a lot around that place with, like you said, the walls that just pop up. And there was a moment or two where I, maybe had to correct it a few inches, or I was going to probably top the load over. But that's one of the few tracks that you're never safe, even if you're out front. You got to really pay attention, keep on your focus.
Will you be racing next with the Pro Late Models?
Yep.
What's your expectations as we head over to Williams Grove with the late model?
I don't really know. I haven't really practiced them or run any laps in them, but we'll jump in and we'll see what we can do.
Well, sounds good. We surely expect you to be able to handle that as that you win our midget division here tonight. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I got to thank the Dirt Track Bank, Jay, and everything they're doing there, the Malvern Bank in Malvern, Iowa. Check them out, dirttrackbank.com. Got Your Six Racing Network, Hammer Down Racing Team, Joe, Kurt, and Brian. We help each other out a ton, bounce ideas off, and just talk and out every day, so that's kind of cool. Stream Images, Maley's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, you for doing the stream, and Roger and everyone at the league behind the scenes helping out. Especially, lately we've had some rearranging, so thanks to everyone that stepped up, and thanks to everyone watching at home.
Well, great run tonight, Brandon, and we'll see if we can talk to you again here shortly with the late model.
I hope so.
That's your winner here in the Salty Dogs Racing Team Midget Division. It's Brandon Templeton, his 4th win of the summer season in the Midget. As you see our final feature results, Brandon Templeton, Patrick Spangler, Jeff Barker, your podium finishers. Coming home fourth, Jack Hitt. Pat Boyce fifth. Blake Chapman ends up sixth with Steven Bixler, Terry Landis, Jeffrey Kemper, and Zachary Chapman rounding out your top 10. 11th, Brandon Dittmer. 12th, Jeff Flaro. And 13th, Preston Kramer, who did not grid or race. And with that, we will come to a close here from Weed Sport Speedway as the Salty Dogs Racing Team Midget Division comes to an end. But our Extreme E-Speed TV Sunday Night Showdown will continue next. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have the Pro Late Models from Williams Grove. You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League on the Extreme E-Speed TV.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
Talented sophomore.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing League here on Extreme eSpeed TV as we head to Williams Grove for the Extreme eSpeed TV Pro Late Model Division. And as we get going here, we'll have our Tim Chapman pre-race show, of course, with our Sim Racer point standings. Coming into tonight, Steven Spies is your points leader. He's got 3 wins and leads Kurt Schatzer by 16 points. Kurt Schatzer second with 1 win. Blake Chapman third with 1 win as well. Then you have Patrick Spangler, Jeffrey Kemper rounding out the top 5. 6th is Brandon Templeton, our midget winner. He has 1 late model win. And John Hine has also collected 1 win in 2 starts here in this series this year. But with that, we'll move on to heat race number 1, presented by Flatline Racing Bodies. And as they grid out there on the front stretch, your starting lineup's going to look like this. Row number 1, it's Steven Bixler next to Jeffrey Kemper. Zach Chapman third next to Brandon Templeton. Pat Boyce fifth next to Brandon Dittmer. And starting 7th will be the 217 of Jack Hitt. So they will get lined up. There's Jack. As we are here at Williams Grove Speedway in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, getting our night of racing started as they get rolling behind that Stephen King Foundation pace truck. So 2 by 2 they get lined up as we get ready to go. So Bixler Kemper, as that Stephen King Foundation pace truck has made his way to the infield. Long front stretch here at Williams Grove all the way down to that start-finish line. Green flag will wave 8 laps here in Flatline Racing Bodies heat race number 1. Kemper will shoot out front, Bixler to the inside. Templeton, who won that midget race, goes around the outside. Zach Chapman will try to split him as he'll move to the inside as they head off into turn number 3. Dittmer now moves to the outside of Bixler as well. Kemper has quickly jumped out to the lead. Templeton into second. Zachary Chapman, Brandon Dittmer, Jack Hitt, your top 5 here early in this one. The front 5 get single file now as they head off into turn number 3. Templeton looking to the inside of Kemper as we've got 6 laps to go. Pat Boyce into the pits here early in this one after 1 lap. As it's still Kemper out front, Templeton trying to chase him down, just 0.2 of a second lead as they head off into turn number 3. Chapman is settled into that 3rd spot. Jack Hitt now around Dittmer. He'll hold on to the 4th spot. Templeton trying to look to the inside of Kemper there as they head off into turn number 1. The next 4 still separated by some space, so the closest battle on the track is this one for the lead. Templeton unable to make up any ground, still trying to find a way around that 181 as they've got 2 laps to go now. Kemper continues to lead. Templeton looking for a move. Chapman back in 3rd still. And that 72 machine. 4th you have Jack Hitt in the 217. And then Steven Bixler still holding on to the top 5 there, as you see Kemper trying to hold off Templeton still as they make their way down the backstretch. Checkered flag will wave this time by. It will be Jeffrey Kemper at the line. Templeton, Chapman, Hit, Bixler, your top 5 here at Williams Grove. And with that, we will get ready for our second heat race. And they're going to line up like this. Row number 1, it's Terry Landis next to Patrick Spangler. Starting third, it's Isaac Salas alongside Steven Spies, our points leader. 5th, Jeff Barker next to Tyler Benefield. And running out the 7-car field will be that 122 of Brian Dickens. So they roll off here. Terry Landis, Patrick Spangler will be that front row. So they will make their way down the long front stretch here at Williams Grove. Terry Landis will take the green flag, and we are back to green. Flag racing here at Williams Grove. Patrick Spangler out front. Spangler trying to hold off Steven Spies there in that 55. He's quickly moved up into the 2nd spot. As Patrick Spangler will continue to lead Salas up into the 3rd spot. Terry Landis, he's battling Brian Dickens there at the back, trying to hold on to that 5th spot. As it's still Patrick Spangler out front, but Steven Spies trying to close the gap. So Patrick Spangler still out front here as he leads Steven Spies. Halfway this time by. Passing has been at a premium, especially up front, as Spies is about 0.3 of a second behind that 39 machine. Isaac Salas running into 3rd spot. He has Barker trying to chase him down, as now it's Brian Dickens into that 5th spot. He's trying to chase down that 513 of Barker. Single file in the back as they are up front. Patrick Spangler, Steven Spies have broken away thus far. 3 laps to go. Spies still about 0.3 of a second off the 39 as he continues to try to chase him down and give himself a chance. Spangler working that outside line. You still got Steven Spies in 2nd. White flag will wave for Spangler. Down the backstretch for the final time here in a heat race for the Pro Late Model Division. Checker flag will wave, and it'll be Patrick Spangler. He'll start outside the front row in our feature event tonight. Spies 2nd, Salas 3rd, Barker 4th, Dickens 5th, Landis 6th, and Tyler Benefield in 6th. And with that, we'll move on to our warm-up session. We'll take a quick commercial break, step away from the racing here at Williams Grove for a moment. And when we come back, we'll have our 30-lap feature event here for the Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Division after this quick commercial break.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olsen, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
And with that, we're back at the track here at Williams Grove as we get ready to get lined up for our 30-lap feature event. Those 30 cars are going to line up like this. Starting on row number 1, it's Jeffrey Kemper next to Patrick Spangler. Row number 2, Brandon Templeton alongside Steven Spees. Zach Chapman next to Isaac Salas in row number 3. Row number 4, it's Jack Hitt and Jeff Barker. And running out your top 10, it's Stephen Bixler alongside Brian Dickens. Starting 11th, it's Brandon Dittmer next to Terry Landis. And your final row, Pat Boyce next to Tyler Benefield. So they make their way around this Williams Grove Speedway. That's Stephen King Foundation pace truck. We'll dive off the track over there in turn number 3. It's going to be Kemper and Spangler leading us to green. They'll make their way down the front stretch here at Williams Grove Speedway. And our Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Division is green for week number 8 of summer season. As they head off into turns number 1 and 2, it's Kemper in that outside line moving up through. Spangler on the tail of that 181. Templeton looking to the inside of Steven Spees. As you've got Salas and Zach Chapman, they're side by side for the 5th position as well. Front 5 get single file by the time they enter turn number 1. Salas shoots up the track as now they're 3 wide coming off of turn number 2. It's Spees, Spangler, and Kemper. It's going to be Spees to the inside as they go through 3 and 4. Templeton looks to make it 4 wide as they exit turn number 4. Contact with Spangler and Kemper to the outside. They'll get it sorted out as they head off into turn number 1. Kemper still your leader as he's got Spangler, Spies behind him. Templeton and Salas will round out your top 5. Great battle up for here early at Williams Grove. Spies gets a little out of sort. Zach Chapman has to check up there. Contact there at the line. They'll keep going straight, though. It's still Kemper up front. Now you have Barker moving by Salas and Spies, as Barker will move up into the 4th spot. Kemper still... Oh, Spangler goes around. He gets into that crossover on the backstretch. Around he goes, and the caution flag will wave. So an exciting start here. As you see, Jack Hitt has plenty of damage as well. Spies gets into that crossover gate on the backstretch. You can see it there as they move by. Around he went, and he's going to have to try to make his way up towards the front. So they'll get lined back up. Great start there. We had about a 6-car battle for the lead. A lot of fun to watch there as we got going here from Williams Grove. Kemper holds on to the lead. You've got Templeton now, our midget winner, up to 2nd. We'll let that cycle around here as they cross the start-finish line. So Spies up to 3rd, Barker 4th, Salas 5th, Zachary Chapman 6th, Dickens 7th, 8th Landis, Dittmer 9th, and Benefield will round out your front 10. Stephen King Foundation pace truck on in. That means we will go green this time by a Lucy Olson green flag as they go through that Mission 22 restart zone. Kemper to the front. Spies trying to look to the inside of Barker. Salas trying to follow Barker around the 55 to the inside as they're still side by side for the lead. That's Kemper and Templeton for the lead through 3 and 4. Kemper will hold on. Templeton will slide up in front of Barker, who's still got Spies to his inside. Salas there as well as they continue to battle up front. The great battle up front. Really the best place to watch the action here early in this one. Templeton peeks to the inside through 3 and 4. Nothing there. That opens the door for Barker to go around his outside. Barker now falls into that 2nd spot. Spies has moved to the outside. He's around the outside of Salas. That's a battle for the 4th spot. As that inside line, hard to get any momentum to make move. As the front 5 continue to battle, Dickens watching on from 6th. They'll get sorted out for a moment as Salas looks to the inside of Spies. Nothing there. Templeton now settling into that 3rd spot as we've got 23 laps to go here at Williams Grove. Templeton still working the inside of Barker with 22 laps to go. Nothing there. Barker still working that inside of, now as Templeton has made his way around the outside of that 513 machine. He'll take the second spot. Spees trying to follow Templeton up and around Barker. And Salas is right behind Spees as they found that outside line the way to go if you're trying to move to the front. 20 laps to go. 19 this time by as the front 5 have broken away. Great racing action here at Williams Grove. Just like the heat races, passing continues to be at a premium. But there's plenty of attempts to try to move forward, especially up here at the front of the field. Spangler, who was caught up in that first caution, he's made his way back up to 10th. That is where he is stalled out as of late. He's stuck behind that 161 of Landis as he tries to go around him. Jack Hitt also back there trying to make a move towards the front. Both of them were involved in that first caution. As up front, Templeton looks to the inside of Kemper. He'll make a large charge going off into turn number 1. He'll have the momentum off of turn number 2. And we have a new leader with 17 laps to go. So Templeton, who won our midget division, has made his way to the front here, and he's starting to separate. 0.6 of a second lead here as they come halfway. 15 laps to go this time by. Kemper's now under attack from Spees, as now Barker and Salas side by side for the 4th position. Spees trying to make a move around Kemper is now Salas and Barker side by side. This is all behind Templeton, who stretched his lead out to a second here with 13 laps to go. Kemper still holding off Spees. Spees unable to make his way around Kemper as of yet. Same goes for Salas, continuing to work on Barker. As Zachary Chapman's made his way around Brian Dickens. Chapman now up into the 6th spot in his 72 machine, as that is Benefield behind them watching on from the 8th spot. Spangler has made his way around Terry Landis. That moves him up into the 9th spot. As Brandon Templeton down the backstretch through 3 and 4, he will be coming to 10 laps to go. It's still Templeton out front. You can see his lead there, as it's a 1.5 seconds over Steven Spees. He's got a nice distance back to Jeffrey Kemper now. And then you have to go back to that Barker-Salas battle as they continue to battle back and forth. Salas unable to get around that 513, but it has allowed that 72 of Zachary Chapman to now enter that battle of the top 5. As he is now right on the back of Salas through 3 and 4. See if that intensity picks up. As now Kemper's also fallen back to this battle as well. Kemper will make his way around Barker. Now Zachary Chapman trying to follow his way through as well. This is a battle for 5th. As now Barker will fall back to that 6th spot. Salas now trying to chase down Jeffrey Kemper, who's in 3rd. Templeton continues to lead. His lead is now almost 2 seconds over Steven Spies. Steven Spies then has a gap to Jeffrey Kemper, and then there's that hard-charging Isaac Salas and Zachary Chapman trying to move their way up for a podium finish. And a Terry Landis accident there. You see the damage on his 161. That will bring out our second caution with 5 laps to go. So that will make things interesting as Templeton had just stretched his lead out 5 seconds. So we will line them up. 5 laps to go. Templeton continues to lead. He's looking to sweep our Sunday Night Showdown broadcast here tonight. From Weed Sport in the Midget to the late models here at Williams Grove. Our points leader, Steven Spies, is going to have something to say about that. And then row number 2 will be Jeffrey Kemper and Isaac Salas. Isaac's been on the charge as of late as he has moved up into that 4th position. Isaac, it's Travis in the booth. Got a copy?
Travis, I can't hear you.
Isaac, can you hear me? Let's see here. Isaac, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I do.
So walk us through your night there at Williams Grove on your way up to a third place finish.
Yeah, it was interesting. I definitely cooked my tires in a couple battles there. But yeah, I mean, it started to get kind of one-lined, and that kind of throw it out almost to a slider line. But I was trying like hell to make the bottom work, and I got lucky a few times, and it all worked out there. I don't know what happened on the last lap. I know I was in fourth, going into 3 and 4, and I came home with a third, so I don't know.
We were talking about the time you started moving up through the field about how difficult it was to actually complete a pass. What was your advantage there? About 15 to go until the end there, you were moving up through the field and end up with that third place finish. What was the difference between you and the others?
Oh, I did try to save my tires a little bit more than usual here, and I didn't know kind of where the line was going to end up at all, and it was really just kind of making mistakes and or taking advantage of people that were making mistakes and just trying to keep the car underneath me.
Well, it's a great run for you, Isaac. Come away with a podium finish. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to all my guys over at Venom Racing, Dean, the Super Dark Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, Got Your Six Racing Network, Arson Trackside, Top Notch Trucking with my Gramps, Mission 22, everything that they do for our veterans. Thanks Coast to Coast, thanks to you. It's always a pleasure to get to talk to you, Travis. And yeah, just like thanks to our veterans, and then thanks to my friends and my family.
Well, great run, Isaac. We'll talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
That's Isaac Salas coming away with a third place finish tonight in the late model. Now joining us, our second place finisher. It's going to be the 55 and points leader, Steven Spees. Steven, walk us through your battle there as you come away with a second place finish tonight at Williams Grove.
Yeah, it was just a lot of looking at the back of Brandon's car, really. He was faster than everybody else and got out there, so I was just kind of trying to hold my own and pick cars off as I could there, and then just sat in second and tried to be consistent.
Walk us through the night when you were trying to pass. It looked like cars were able to try to make a move to the inside, maybe get up along and door by door, but then it would just stall out and you were unable to complete a pass.
Yeah, because you have to slow down so much to run the inside, and with these cars, they just don't have the horsepower to really get up and go. So if somebody's up on the top and the top was working fairly decent, they've just got that momentum, and you just don't have the get up and go to pull them off the corner usually. So it was definitely tough. You kind of just had to wait for mistakes or see if you could get your nose forced in somewhere and just make something work. So it was a fun race overall. I hate Williams Grove. I'd be happy if we never race this track again. But as far as Williams Grove races go in late model, that was a pretty good one.
Was there anything you think you could have thrown at Brandon there to try to get up alongside of him or make a move for the lead?
No, I needed a mistake, or I needed to stop by the talent store, one of the two.
Sounds good, Steven. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
No, just a great run to Kemper. I know I didn't go back and look at it yet. I know we had a little contact on like the white flag lap or something, and hate to see him fall out of the top three there. We was hoping for at least 2/3 of the podium to be Gambler cars, but very unfortunate with a really good night he had.
Well, great run tonight, Steven. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
I hope so. Thanks, Travis.
That's our second place finisher tonight, Steven Spees. And now joining us back from Victory Lane, 2 for 2 tonight here on the broadcast, it's Brandon Templeton. Brandon, really a repeat of that midget race. Walk us through the late model here at Williams Grove tonight.
Well, for the most part, grab the bottom of the track and get behind the guy in front of you and wait for him to push up. And that's kind of what I was expecting. And that's what it played out, in the heats in the first few laps. And then midway through, it was like they were running the bottom pretty good. And I wasn't really picking up or gaining any. And I didn't want to get cut off, getting down against a guardrail. So I threw her up in the middle where the cushion was kind of forming and it's kind of stuck and, got around them there and got up to Kemper and was able to squeeze by. But that was that was a heck of a race. I hope I didn't use up Jeff any there. I know we got kind of squirrely when he touched the wall, and I tried to get down and give him some room, so hopefully that wasn't any hurt feelings. But overall, pretty good race. We'll take it.
We were talking with Steve, and it felt like some guys were able to at least pull up alongside you, and then that outside momentum would carry you back and give you that lead. Did you feel like there was any points where you felt like the pressure turned up a little bit more, or that you had to kind of tighten up the straps to go at it?
I definitely was getting a little scared. I was physically sweating and mentally sweating it, I guess. The room was getting kind of hot here with the graphics going, and so yeah, it was getting hot. They were throwing it in under me, and I was getting nervous they were going to tap me or stick it there, and I was going to be out to lunch. But rode it out and able to pull them off the end of the corner, and I guess we'll go from there.
Well, you go 2 for 2 tonight here. A win with the midget, win with the late model. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to for this late model performance?
Yeah, and before I thank any sponsors, I got breaking news here. The Hammer Down Racing team got dirt track bank number 31. Will be piloted by Bria Templeton in the kids race, so she's really looking forward to that. I think she's got 40 laps of practice or something, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But I got to thank the Dirt Track Bank, Got Your Six Racing Network, Hammer Down Racing Team, Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, Extreme E-Speed, you for doing the broadcast, everyone helping out in the league, and everyone watching at home. Thank you.
2 for 2 tonight with the midget and the late model, also bringing breaking news to the broadcast. It's your winner here from Williams Grove. It's Brandon Templeton. Brandon, we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
That's Brandon Templeton, your winner here from Williams Grove, and with your finishing lineup, Templeton, Speed Salas, your podium, Zach Chapman 4th, Jeff Barker in 5th. Running out your top 10, it's Benefield, Dickens, Spangler, Hitt, and Landis. Jeffrey Kemper 11th, Pat Boyce 12th, Brandon Dittmer 13th, and Steven Bixler in the 14th position. And with that, Coast to Coast Racing League Sunday Night Showdown presented by Extreme E-Speed TV comes to a close. We do have a full week of racing action coming up, as it's the Knoxville Nationals for the Stephen King Foundation. Of course, it's Michael Westbrook Knoxville Nationals all week long. All kicks off tomorrow night. The Kids Club starts at 7:30. Qualifying race number 1 to follow at 8. We have qualifying night number 2 on Tuesday as well. Wednesday, we have the Hard Knocks. And then, of course, Thursday will be the 4th annual Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals for the Stephen King Foundation. Make sure you tune in all week long. As always, we appreciate you watching the Sunday Night Showdown here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, presented by Extreme E-Speed TV. We look forward to seeing you at a racetrack soon.